There are quite a few videos in my feed that say something to the effect of, gaming is dying. I don't want to play games anymore. Gaming is not what it used to be. On one hand, I do kind of get it. The AAA and live service spaces, they are complete ass. I really don't get why people rush out to spend $70 to get the new half-baked Call of Duty Pokemon sports game. Every year, I really don't. I've been gaming since the N64 and PS1 era, and it really is cliche to say, but right now is the best time to play games. Do you want to know why? Well, here we go. Look at indies. If you complain that games are too similar to one another and that $70 for a buggy mess is outrageous, this needs to be your first step. Play something like Pizza Tower, goddammit. The game is only $20 and has kept me entertained for over 50 hours, and still counting. Or look at Hollow Knight. This game is considered one of the best Metroidvanias out there. It has so much replay value, and it's priced at only $15. Or Celeste, Vampire Survivor, Stardew Valley, Lethal Company, Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Don't just think it won't be worth your time because a game is only $10. That notion is frankly absurd. Pokemon Scarlet costs $60, while Hades costs $15. Price does not equate to value or quality at all. It's just what the publisher thinks that they can get away with while selling a lot of copies still. But how do you find these good, cheap games? Well, that's where you gotta look around a bit. This is why I think that reviews should be mandatory on all modern-day storefronts. Fuck you, Nintendo. The eShop is a complete and total mess. A lot of the games that I mentioned above are rocking an overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam. Please pay attention to that shit. And more importantly, take a second and actually read the reviews, see why people like it, see why people don't. It may sound basic, but I'm so surprised to see so many comments like, I bought this new piece of fucking shit, Call of Duty, and I'm shocked to see that it constantly crashes. Then I'll go to the reviews. And there'll be multiple negative reviews about performance. Isn't it funny how that works? If you're on Steam, do yourself a favor and go through your Steam queue every now and then. There's some bullshit that you don't like in there? Then hit not interested and move on. Steam's algorithm will take this into account and stop recommending that game as well as others like it. Recently, I've been on 3D platforming kick, and my Steam queue has recommended great games like Cavender Dreams, Corn Kid 64, Pseudo Regalia, and Super Kiwi 64. Branching out is probably the most important thing to do, honestly. I know some people that will play only one game, the same thing, over and over again for thousands upon thousands of hours, and it's like, why? Don't get me wrong, I've replayed Pikmin dozens of times already, but that's sandwiched in between new experiences too. I think it's important to have some comfort games, for sure, but try out new genres that you think you wouldn't like. For example, I thought I was kind of over shooter games. It's just so oversaturated. My friends begged me to get Helldivers 2 though, and hey, I've been enjoying it a decent bit. One important thing to note. Old is gold. I'm not here to argue the ethics of emulating games. I'm personally for it when the publisher is being a douchebag and not offering an easy way to get a copy, but come to your own conclusion. But what I do know, emulators like Dolphin, Project 64, DuckStation, and RetroArch, these are easy to get going. And you can easily acquire a ROM for free. So if you haven't played Banjo-Kazooie yet, what are you doing? Go and play Banjo-Kazooie. Or how about Super Mario Galaxy, or Pikmin, or Final Fantasy VII, the original Halos? Speaking of old is gold, please do not dismiss a game just because it's old. It annoys the ever-loving fuck out of me when people do that. I love it when modern storefronts actually have older games so I can support them that way. Something like Psychonauts goes on sale for $2 regularly on Steam. I know many will write it off because it came out almost 20 years ago, but god damn it, it's one of the best 3D platformers that I've played. Good Old Games will regularly sell Heroes of Might and Magic 3 for $2.50. My personal favorite game ever for only $2.50? You're kidding me, right? And people are out here buying COD for $70? Another thing to go on about when talking about old is gold, look at fan games, ROM hacks, whatever you want to call them. I'm a Johto boy, so Pokemon Gold and Silver, they're my favorite in the series, if you don't include the Gen 4 remakes. I won't deny that they have problems, though. The Smith Place made a ROM hack called Pokemon Crystal Legacy that fixes the problems of Gen 2, and that's probably how I'll be playing it going forward. Speaking of Pokemon, ROM hacks are so widespread for that series in particular, it is just insane. Or how about Heroes of Might and Magic 3, Horn of the Abyss? This turns my favorite game of all time and just makes it so much better. So many quality of life improvements, 2 new towns with 14 creatures each, and brand new scenarios. It completely changes the game, and all of it's for the better. Or how about Project M? This takes Super Smash Bros. Brawl and makes it play like Melee. As someone who loves the more competitive nature of Melee, but loved the single-player offerings of Brawl, this mod is a dream come true. The thing about ROM hacks and fan games is the fact that they're made out of love for the series and not money. These are dedicated fans who are spending mad man hours to make the game better than it ever could be. Do you really think these publishers give a shit once the game is out the door? Only if it's completely broken, like say Cyberpunk 2077. Seriously, do yourself a favor and look up ROM hacks and fan games of your favorite franchises. I always hated the elitist mindset of, I only play things that the developers intend to be there. Fan games can't be as good. It's like, alright, I guess, just have fun missing out and being an asshole then. I just felt the need to make this video because I see all these videos talking about how video games aren't fun anymore. People and their tastes change, obviously, but too many people just throw around blanket statements that all video games aren't fun anymore, the old days were better. Keep in mind, there was a metric shitload of broken and unfun stuff released back in the day. Does anyone want to pop in Bubsy 3D for good old time's sake? Of course not! That's also not to mention, those games still exist. If you're like me and think that the newer Pokemon games just eat ass, play the old ones. It's not like they've been Thanos snapped out of existence or anything. Again, I get that the AAA scene is mostly ass, and especially the live service one. That I'll agree with 100%. For every Baldur's Gate 3, there are like literally 10 games that are just so fucking awful it's not even funny. Trust me though. Dip your toes into indies. Download some emulators and play some classics. Video games can still be fun. You just need to find what you like. It is worth noting that I think there have been some amazing AAA games in the past few years. Nintendo is stalling the ball. Until they aren't. Some Switch games like Super Mario Odyssey, Pikmin 4, Smash Ultimate. These are some of my favorite games in their respective series. Baldur's Gate 3 came out last year and was incredible. Lies of P is great for Souls lovers. Again, you really need to pick through the shit though. If you're that person that just keeps buying the new COD, sports game, games with microtransactions out the ass, just try something new, damn it. If you're only going to take a single thing away from this goddamn video, it really should be that. Try indies, grab some old ROMs of classic games, do anything except for buy the new goddamn Call of Duty. I am begging you. On a side note, does anyone else remember when Baldur's Gate 3 dropped and people were going apeshit and saying that it shouldn't be the new standard? No microtransactions, no battle passes? People are actually advocating for games to release broken and not have effort put into them. In fact, we even have apologists saying that buying an incomplete game at launch, that's the consumer's fault for not doing research. Why is the accountability on the consumers and not the company for completing the goddamn game? I guess that's just where the game industry is at now.